Hey guys, John with Citizen Survival Plan here. Alright, I'm never gonna relinquish this one, guys. The firebox and blade is stupid for bug out bags. On my video where I reacted to Canadian Prepper, everyone's been commenting about, hey, why don't you have a blade? Dude, that's such a bad idea not to have a blade. Let's just go over this really quick. So I want to start this video first by saying I don't like bug out bags. I don't like the concept of them. I consider them an emergency evacuation bag. Realistically, bugging out is your last option, and we are emergency evacuating to get to shelter and infrastructure where we can live. I don't think it's realistic that we're going to be in the woods sawing trees or building a log house or whatever. This is an emergency evacuation bag. Everything in the bag needs to be used and accessible as easily as possible. The blade firebox. So the pros to this is you have endless wood and fuel, right? That's what everyone seems to care about. Number two, on the pro side, it's also a tool that can be used for other things. If you needed to maybe cut something or, take a branch and turn it into a splint or something, you could. So let's go over the cons with this thing, though. Having the blade and that firebox is heavier than just having a propane bottle and this tiny little stove. The first one is you can't start a fire if it's been raining currently, or it just rained and everything is just soaked. Number two, you're risking injury with all that cutting, and you could cut your finger or hit yourself in the shin with the blade, whatever. Especially if you have like a hatchet or something, that's what you're using. The saws, you could cut your hands. You're using an additional energy to saw and cut wood to make wood small enough to go into that firebox. Number four, eventually you're going to need to sharpen it, but that's not really what we're worried about when we're evacuating or bugging out, as some people like to call it. It can break, and that's also on the stove, but you can break your blade, you can break a saw, you bend it and it snaps or whatever. My final point on why you don't need this blade or firebox when you're bugging out is you can start a fire without you don't need it. You don't need a blade to start a fire. How many of you have ever been camping? If you're in the woods or near trees or anything, there's sticks everywhere. You just pick them up, break them up, and you just start a fire. I don't need the blade to start a fire. I don't know why people are like commenting about I can't start a fire. I don't have any fire starting skills. I don't need a blade to start a campfire. How many times have you started a fire without needing a bunch of blades? Like a million. So let's move on to the propane stove. Why you should just use this instead. This is propane and I think it's butane, the adapter. So it's way faster. I'm in an emergency. I need to boil water and maybe cook a freeze-dried meal like right now, like right away. I just need to start it and go. Two, it's easier. And three, and this is what kills having blades and that stupid firebox. It works in the rain and or wet. So if it's just rain and poured down rain, everything's soaked, I could just light this. I just turn it on. I don't need to worry about all the wood being wet or anything. All right, so here are the cons. And everyone keeps commenting this. You're going to run out of fuel. Okay, fine. I am going to run... Man. I am going to need clean clothes, shelter for me and my kids, diapers for kids. I personally just am going to need to just get to shelter and change my clothes and shower and stuff. I just am going to need to do that way before this runs out of fuel. How many meals do you plan on cooking in your evacuation plan before you get to where you're going? Also, the con on this is I will admit this is a little bit more likely to break than your blade. That's why you carry a lighter with this, because most likely the self-igniting system is probably going to break before anything, if anything broke on this. But these work pretty good. I'm not that worried about. Also, in our bags, each one of us have one of these. So, yeah. So, my final thoughts on this, guys. Just carry, if you really need to start a fire, and let's say your stove and everything has broke, just carry one of these. This fits into a case. It's your camp canteen. And I could start a little fire with sticks under this. I don't want to be doing that, but this is the backup plan if that were to happen. It all goes into a case, It's perfect. Keep one of these in your bug out bag. There's also a lighter in this bag in the front. Yeah, I don't need blades. This is the second thing on final thoughts. I don't need blades or anything to start a fire. I can just start a fire, break up little sticks, start a fire. And last, I'm going to need to find shelter and clean clothes and stuff, and probably medicine if I've been in the woods for a day or two, long before I'm going to run out of fuel. I ain't worried about it. I'm not advocating to not have any blade at all. What I'm saying is I don't need saws and hatchets and really large blades with me. This is probably the biggest thing I'd probably carry if you're do fixed. This is probably a little bit more ideal. A folding Kershaw knife with a screwdriver on it. Folds out. Pretty nice little blade. Or this is pretty much what I have, just a little Swiss Army knife. A good, decent Swiss Army knife in your bag would be good too. We don't need like the really big, large ones. This is John with Citizen Survival Plan reminding you that you do not need all those blades in your bug out bag.